Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
We give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Don't forget to like, listen, subscribe. Thanks to everybody that views us. Check us every Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific time when we do our live roundtable speaking. Also, I want to start off here with, we're watching the disaster that's happened from Hurricane Helen. And House Speaker Mike Johnson, a Louisiana Republican, said on Sunday that he does not intend to call Congress out of recess to vote on emergency funding for federal agencies assisting in Hurricane Helen recovery efforts. Johnson told Fox News Sunday, Shannon Bream, that lawmakers will be back in session immediately after the election to provide any funding needs for the states hit hardest by the Category 4 storm that made its way through southeastern United States late last month. That's 30 days from now, the Republican leader said. The thing about these hurricanes and disasters at that magnitude, it takes a while to calculate the actual damages, and the states are going to need some time to do that. Now, let's talk about what's going on online. Everyone's like, where's the funding? Where's the funding?
Yeah.
You're only giving them this, right? They're putting all these conspiracies. They have a chance to do something.
Yep.
So, I mean,
Yep.
you can't how could you look at this, you look at that disaster, you see all the people that have died, because the numbers keep growing. I think it's about 500 right now.
It's a number of
five or 600 people have been dead. It must be nice to just leave and go home for 30 days and be like, we'll come back and think about voting on it. But then you got all your constituents out there saying, and Republicans, there's a lot of them, saying you're not doing enough for them. You're not doing enough funding. You're not doing anything for them. And this is the chance to do it. Just like the border deal. You got
to kind of almost look at it like it's easier to live off of a lie and a conspiracy, especially right now, because like lies travel faster than the truth. Yeah. People want to talk about the most negative thing that they could possibly talk about at a time like this and be like, oh, they're not doing anything. I mean, towns have been washed away. I mean, Kamala Harris has already come out and said the government will reimburse for all expenditures as far as statewide expenditures for fixing what happened during Hurricane Helen. And these are the same states same people who push back on, the government needs to stay out of our business. The government it's overreach. We need to get rid of all these government agencies. But now they're looking for government dollars when it comes time for these type of things that happen. They don't want to help out during anything else. But when something happens to you, now all of a sudden, where's the government? People anti-big government. And I'm not even for big government. I'm for effective government. But at the same time, these same people are the same ones who are willing to live off of a conspiracy rather than looking at the truth. Even the Georgia governor came out, Kemp came out and said that first Trump was saying, he hasn't talked to Kemp. He hasn't called. Kemp can't get a hold of him.
All the governors came out. They were like, look, we've talked to Biden. And he said, what do you need? And they're like, we have everything right now. And they said, whatever you need, let us know. They even came out to be like, no, that was a lie. Like, we have talked to the president.
Yeah, I mean, he called them directly before this even happened. Everything's a photo op right now. Everything's a lie and a conspiracy. To me, anyone who has to lie that much or spark conspiracies to think to even, you go back to the migrant thing. You go back to all of that. Everything. It's political season. We get it. It's politics. We get it. But you don't have to lie in order to make your point more effective. That's the worst part about it. You can tell the truth. If the truth is, sometimes the truth is more effective than a lie.
Even John DeSantis, the shamed governor of Florida, came out and said, "Hey," even Biden called and said, "What do you need?" They called him. They want Biden and Kamala out there digging ditches. That's what they'll make them feel better.
I mean, these towns were completely underwater. Houses are gone. Once your house is waterlogged like that, your house is done for. Yeah. All the electrical, everything in your house is fried. It's done. I mean, there's no way you can dry your house back out after this and then live in it still where it's livable, because everything that's all the chemicals, everything that's passed through.
The wood is going to grow mold.
Yeah.
It's going to be, your house has to be taken down all the way down to the root.
And so, I mean, we have to remember these people are climate change, rejectors, people who we don't believe in climate change. I bet you believe a little bit more now, and it's horrible to say it at a time like this, but you got to look at this as what it is. I had someone online say something like, we think that FEMA is not, if they're running out of money, we'll get into that next. Yeah. If they're running out of money, they're giving it to the migrants or whoever else. I said, no, I mean, we've had so many different hurricanes this season. Look at what happened in Houston.
We have hurricanes. We've had flooding.
Everything.
We've had a lot. The natural disasters are growing here. I mean, there's about to be one here. Just to add to it, there's one's about to hit Florida by Wednesday.
Yeah, a category 3.
It's going to be a category 2 or even a 3 by Wednesday.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's a whole nother one. These hurricanes are getting stronger and stronger.
In November, it doesn't end until after, I think, November. At the end of November is the end of hurricane season. And so we still got time to go. That's why Mike Johnson's not so, he's like, man, we probably going to have about 2 or 3 more. He don't want to admit it, but he sees it. It's coming.
From Louisiana. He don't care about none of those people. That's the cold piece about it. It's like, how can you look at all this devastation, but, someone probably told him, don't give them funding. Let's do it after the election so I can just like the border deal.
Do it after the election.
Let's not do the border deal because it's going to make Donald Trump look bad. Think about it. You don't care to save people. You're doing this for politics. There's political theater and there's people that are trying to fix the country, or trying to help people. So it's sad times right now.
It's clown season, man. I mean, it's too bad that these same people who are talking about, what hasn't been done for the American people won't step up to the plate. Or they're only trying to give $720 to Americans for this. But they've given all this money to all these other countries. Give them some more funding.
Well, the $750 is actually just to help people right then and there for supplies. That's not all they get.
Put it in your pocket.
And then people are complaining. Okay. They're like, hey, they're not giving us the funding. They're like, well, you need to prove that you were in these disaster areas.
Yeah, I mean.
Which makes sense, I come stayed over like, yeah.
I need that too.
My house washed away.
Fill in the paperwork. I mean, I was staying with someone who lived over here. Anything you could say. Yeah. I get it.
But then it's also like, my ID was in my house. And my house is out in the ocean. Exactly.
I mean, we need to flush them quickly with funding, make sure it's happening, get FEMA out there. I think these are certain agencies that Project 2025 want to get rid of.
Yeah, they want to get rid of FEMA. They want to get rid of the NOAA, which actually predicts the weather coming in. And it's crazy. It's like they pointed out, like last time North Carolina had a disaster like that, the Trump administration gave them 1% of the 99% they were asking for. And they're going to get rid of this stuff. And think about it. You may not like Joe Biden and the Biden administration, but they're not looking at these are like, oh, well, that's more of a Republican state, so we're not going to do anything like Donald Trump has said about California.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They saw American people hurt, and they're going into action. Is it quick? Going to happen? No. Life is not like a TV. They have to. Some of these areas are still dangerous.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You can step in a pile of mud and sink down to the bottom.
And some of them are very rural, where it's very hard to get to. You know what I mean? Like they've had to I think they're like carting people off in some places because they couldn't get there, because some of them are one road kind of towns, like you only get in one way, and they were washed out by this flooding.
And then you've got the trees and everything. Like I took a tree where I live at. There's trees all around me, and I don't realize what it looked like until I took a drone and puffed it all the way up past the tree line, and you can't see nothing. All you see is trees. You may see a house here, but it's just trees, and so they got to figure out where people are and if they're down there. Yeah, it's a big disaster. You're not expecting it to happen. So,
well, we'll definitely keep you updated.
But everybody should be doing their best in their part. All government officials, you should not be on recess at all. And the fact that he won't call them back in is because they're living in their home states, feeling comfortable.
He's from Louisiana too. You've seen the devastation of this type of stuff. I've been down there a year after Katrina, and I saw how bad it was. I saw the grass was gray.
He's letting people suffer so Donald Trump can look good.
I've never seen gray grass. I've never seen like water lines so high up a building, like 20 feet high up buildings, water lines that ran across the building. Like, this is how high the water was. You're dead. You know what I mean? There's no way you're making it. But